Hey, hello, welcome to this YouTube channel, Experience Hope and Strength, by me, your host Lily. Today, I want to talk about God's know why. So many times we have this question: why me? Why my family? Why my children? Why my business? Why my nation? Why? We don't have answer. So today we are going to talk about God knows why. And we are going to sing this song. It says, through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. So let's sing together. To trust in Jesus, I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Sing again. Let me tell you that trust in Jesus. I learned to trust in God. I learned to depend upon His word. Excuse me for that. So it's saying like this. I've been so many places. I've seen so many faces, and I have this question to ask God. But it's saying that through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to depend upon His word. So this moment, it is my prayer that no matter what you are going through, no matter what comes on your way, learn to trust in Jesus. Learn to depend upon His word. I just decided to encourage you, my viewers, and even myself. Especially, I'm encouraging myself. Let me give a little bit story about my life. So, like the way I've just been giving few story about my life for God's glory. Any orphan, especially because I became orphans when I was 7 years. And any orphan in this life, if something hit you, you always remember your parent. You always remember, where's my dad? Or I wish my dad was alive. I wish my mom was alive. Or you just wish because you just like, if my parents were alive, I couldn't be going what I'm going through now. Okay. Even the adult, sometimes we go through a lot and we ask God, why did you take my mom? Excuse me for that. Like me, I was like, God, why did you take my mom? Why? Because I was still young, at 7 years, and I had a lot of questions. Every time life could, I didn't go to school. This English is by God's grace. And that's why sometimes you may hear me like I'm not that fluent English, sometimes past tense, present tense, but by God's grace, it's just helping us each and every day. So I admire people going to school. When I could see people going to school, I admire them. When I could see people with their parents, I admire them. You know, the family of father, mother, and children, I admire that a lot. So I had all the questions. God, why me? Why? And then last year in May, I lost my brother. He was 30 years. So he was sick, diabetic, and I was so sad. And I was telling God, no member in my family is going to die without knowing you. I don't know about my brother Henry. I don't know the last minute we called there at the bed of the hospital. I don't know what maybe in his heart, it is my prayer that maybe he spoke with God something. Because you can remember even the thief at the cross. He said, God, Jesus, remember me. And Jesus promised him, today we are going to be with you in my Father's house. So this is my prayer that my brother Henry, that maybe, and I'm sorry, I love him so very much, and he knew that. He knew that, he knows or he knew, whatsoever. So I loved him so very much. And we did everything as a family to help him, taking care of him, to the hospital to make sure that, he has a balanced diet food. But in May, my brother died. And it's really pained me a lot because I was not around there at home. So in November, my dad, now my grandparents, they're the one who have took care of us. So when I say my dad, that is my grandpa. So I do call him dad because since I was born, I know him as my dad. Even though he's my grandpa, but I just call him dad. Now, in November 2025, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And that thing pained me a lot because, throat cancer. Because, every time you hear the word cancer, there's a difference between you going through that and just hearing people going through what you are going through. So me, nobody in our family has ever diagnosed, with cancer or even diabetic. So these are the things whereby it's just new to us. So when my dad was sick, we took him to the hospital. They take the sample because he cannot eat, so he did not eat for he was just struggling. Even swallowing the saliva is hard, so nothing could pass. So that's why now when we took him to the hospital, they say they want to take sample so that they can see if it's cancer, and the results came, it is cancer. In that situation, what do you do? You ask God a lot of questions, especially the family who you have been blessed. One of the members of the family, they are in abroad. So the community, even the family in there, you are not going to get more support because people, they say they have their daughter, they have their son, they have their granddaughter or grandson, they are in abroad. So you are just there alone. You are carrying that. I don't want to call it burden, but you are carrying all that alone. So I asked God a lot of questions. God, why? And for people who they are patient or maybe they have gone through cancer, I was just hearing it's very expensive, chemotherapy. Like today, my dad, it was the day of his therapy, chemo. So, yeah, so he went to chemo, and every week he normally go to lab. I don't know which sample to be tested, and it's very expensive. And I have all the reason to ask God a lot of questions, because my prayer, I was praying to God that, God, when you blessed me, I want to be a blessing to my parents, who they are my grandparents now. Like, I want them to just to have a good life. That was my prayer. But now I was asking God, why? God, yes, you have blessed me, even if it's not that much, but I know you are going to bless me indeed. But God, hapa kunaenda aje? How? So maybe you can be in that situation. You are asking God, why me? In May, we lost our brother. In November, my dad diagnosed with cancer, throat cancer. So everything in the house now changed because he cannot eat. So they have put a pipe here in the stomach somewhere. So now everything has changed. And I'm still praying to God that my dad is healed, and I keep believing in that, even as he continues this medication. So you may be in that situation like me. You are asking God, why me? Maybe someone betray you in a relationship, or maybe in a business. Maybe someone maybe things do happen. I don't want to use a lot of example, but you know yourself, what is that it is inside you, and you're asking God why. Maybe you have been praying maybe for your children to be born again, and they are not yet. Maybe it is your spouse, and it's not yet. Maybe you are praying maybe for a visa, and it's not yet. Maybe for a job, and it's not yet. You may ask God why. Me, I went back to Gumbaro. Gumbaro is this school whereby it is an adult school. So I took myself back to school because I love school. I love learning a lot. So when I took myself back there, and I believed in God. But when the results came, I was like, what is this? And I asked God, why? Why? I got a D. I'm not ashamed. I said my life, it's a testimony of God. My story is for His glory. So I cannot hide, what God can use to encourage someone else. Because when I took myself back to Gumbaro, I studied so hard. And I was asking God, help me. I want to pass this exam. But when the results came, I got a D. And I always called for D for Matiang'i, because that it was a Minister Matiang'i, was the Minister of Education. So I was telling God, why? I wasted my money. I wasted my years here in Gumbaro. I was an adult. I was 26, 27 years. So I was like, God, no. Guess what? The day I won a green card, qualification, you need to have a D. Do you see how God works? I was angry with God. Why? Why did you give me this D? No, I wanted a B. In my performance, I was in B minus, C plus there. So when I saw in my result D, I was like, no, God, you cannot do this to me. But after I won the green card qualification there, you need to be in high school, and you need to have a D minus and above. So mine was D, so I was better. There is where now I thank God. I thank God a lot, because I tell God, oh, you saw it. So this D that you gave to me, People say I wasted my money, I wasted my year. Even me, I saw that because I didn't have a certificate of secondary. So when I took myself back to Gumbaru, so this is the place whereby I was expecting like to get some good grades so that I can go to university. But when God gave me that day, I was like, another thing which I asked God why is when I went for my embassy for an interview. I've said this, but I'll keep just saying it. And it was for a visit visa. And this visit visa, they told me, they denied my visa. They just asked me some question there, and then I did not have those answers. So I was denied the visa. So after being denied the visa, visit visa, and in 2022, I was angry and bitter with God. I had all the question, why me? Why I have served you? I have loved you. God, no, you are not being fair to me. Guess what? In 2023, I won a green card. That is how God works. And now, I can be able now to take care of my dad. Now I can be able, yes, it's not that not yet that too much, but God has blessed me. I can be a blessing to few people. Not all people, but those that God has, put in my line to help them. I'm so glad for that. So I'm here to encourage you. You may have those questions, why? My life, it is a big testimony. If you see me, just see the hand of God, because me, it is just the grace of God. Me, for those who they are saying, God, you have shown me mercy. I am one of them. In my life, there was a place whereby everything was just stagnant. Everything didn't go well. Me, I was going to people's house, washing their clothes, doing cleaning, all that. That one, it was now my job. But I was seeing myself as if I don't have education. I don't have a good job. I'm not yet married back then. So in my home, we are still in ghetto, in slum. So I was like, God, where is my future going? Someone told me, someone is afraid of getting married, even asking you the hand of marriage because of where you are living. Because in our home, it's a ghetto home, it's a slum home, and a lot of not good things do happen over there. Drugs, thief, or just name them all. And someone told me, men are afraid even asking you because of where you're coming from. And I was like, what can I do? I love my family. I don't want to leave. But when my husband came, the first thing I told him, I'm coming from this background, from ghetto, from slum. I'm not learned. I told him everything. The first date, I told him like, this is me. I went to Gumbaru, I got D. So this is me. And surprisingly, he told me, I love you the way you are. I love you no matter your background, no matter where you are coming from. As long you are born again, you are a new creation. You are a new creation through Jesus Christ. And that is my husband. We got married, and the story for another day. But my point is this: you can have so many questions why. Let's now get into the Bible. We can see in the book of 1 Samuel, whereby Anna was praying, God, give me a son. we may, maybe Anna was maybe having a lot of questions, because even the husband, Elkanah was like, he was giving Anna 2 portions, but Anna was like, no, 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 no. And the husband is like, am I not better than 10 sons to you? But husband, I didn't know the desire of this woman. Yes, he knew that he wanted a child, but the heaviness and that shauku, the desire of this woman wanting a child, until that day when Anna promised God, if you give me a son, I'll bring back to you. And there is where now God was just waiting for that word, because the sons of Eli, they were doing evil things in the house of God. And we know how the story went. So the sons of Eli went to battle. They died over there. When Eli, the news came to Eli, and he was told, like, your son, they were there in the battle, and Eli fall down and he died. We thank God, because Samuel was there to take over. So this is my encouragement this moment. Whatever you are going through, God got you. And God is there with you. God loves you. If we see in the Bible, many people who they are sons, those who they delivered the children of Israel in one or another, their conception, before they were formed their womb, it was little bit challenge. If you look at John the Baptist, the way their parents conceived him, it was a miracle. If you look at the mother of Samson, it is a miracle. So any child, a promised child that came into this world, there was some battle. And even after they came like this, there was still some battle. This is showing you, these people, they must be asking God, remember me in this. Remember me in this. But God, he was saying, I'm going to use your story for my glory. I'm going to use this pain which you are going through to encourage my children. Right now, my dad is still going, like today I've just said, is in the, today he went for chemo. But I'm still holding on to God. I'm still trusting God that healing is his portion. It doesn't matter what you are going through right now. God knows why. You may have a lot of questions. Why? But God, he wants to use that situation which you are going through to lift up your faith. Like that song, through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. For Abraham to come to say to that mountain whereby he took his son Isaac, and God told him to go to sacrifice him to that mountain. And when he was there, that is the moment God provide a lamb. And you can see Abraham is calling there Jehovah Jireh, God my provider. This is showing us that there's a place whereby we need to come, we as believers, until you know God personally. Not the God of your mother, not the God of your father. Yes, they are good, but yes, the God of your mother, the God of your father, our Jehovah, the God of heaven and earth. That is what I'm saying. Yes, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yes, they are good, and we thank God. But you need to come to know God, you yourself. Let's see Job. Job, he was asking God this question. Why? Why? Even the wife tell him, why don't you just curse God and die? But Job said, oh, you just speak like a foolish woman. But inside, Job was asking God a lot of questions until, God tell Job, now, me, I'm here, tell me, when I was creating the heaven and earth, where were you? When I was putting the foundation of the earth, where were you, Job? When I say to the sea, you can only come this far, where were you? When I was putting the stars, heaven's bodies, where were you? Until Job said, oh, he repented and said, oh, I'm sorry. And here we can now see Job saying, I've been hearing about God, but now I have seen him with my eyes. This is showing us that sometimes we can reach in that situation whereby you don't know God. And let me tell you, you will never ever know God 100%. Today, God, you come Jehovah Jireh. Tomorrow, Jehovah Nisi. Another day, Jehovah Shammah, Jehovah Elohim, Jehovah Nisi. Is the Alpha and Omega, is the first and the last, is the beginning and the end, is the creator, is the way maker, is the promise keeper, is our redeemer, is our life, is our bread that we breathe. You will never understand God 100%. You may think like, oh, now I know God is Jehovah Shammah. Tomorrow, you say, oh, now, tell me, God said when the angels, they appear to God in the book of Job 1. The Bible says when the devil appear, and God asked the devil, where are you coming from? He said, to and fro. Because in the book of James it says, the enemy is like a roaring lion. He's looking for whom to devour. And he said, watch and pray. So, after the enemy say, I'm just moving here and there. So, God said, did you see my servant Job? So this means what we are going through, God has the reason why. Because when Job was going through fire, when Job was going through depression, through pain, through sorrows, God in heaven, he was proud, saying, that is my son. I can count on him. Can God count on you in that pain? I'm not saying that God enjoy our pain. I'm not saying that God enjoy our sorrows. But our journey from here where we are, for where we are going, God just said, okay, I'll bless you. But God does not give us how here. Because if God can show us here where we are going, yes, he can tell us, I will take you there where you want. But God, like me, God, I wanted to come here to US. But I didn't know the way that God, he will bring me through. So maybe all this thing, God was just preparing me. So that when I come here, the winds and the waves, they may not sweep me. Yes, they will come. And yes, they are there. But God just makes sure I have to strengthen you, my son. I have to strengthen you, my daughter. So that when I bring that blessing to you, the blessing is not going to take you away from me. We are not going to worship the blessing and not the blesser. So, every time you find yourself in a situation where you don't know why, that is the moment that you tell God, I trust you. I believe you. I know you love me. I know the plan that you have for me are good and not of evil. I know you promise me you never leave me, you never forsake me. You promise me you are with me until the end of the world. That is what you are supposed to encourage yourself. You are supposed to speak life in every situation. Even if, like Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, the way they said, our God, He will deliver us. Even if He does not deliver us, listen, you king, we are not going to bow to worship you. That is type of faith we need it. That is type of faith we need to have it, that God, even if you don't help me here, I'll still hold on to you. My trust is in you. My hope is in you. I'm still depending on you. I don't have any other plan B. And God is going to use you for He's going to use your story for His glory. Be blessed. Stay blessed. Remain blessed. God knows why. My pastor, as I finish, he preached this preaching long time ago. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't understand. Just give thanks. There is power in giving God thanks. And no matter what comes on our way, it will never burn you. Because no temptation that is new, but every temptation which is common, God will always make a way for us to go through. So be blessed, stay blessed, remain blessed. Be strong, be courage. Like the way God said to Joshua, don't be afraid. God loves you. God bless you so much. Bye.